the etiquette. There are a lot of things that go against etiquette, but people get it done. I mean, etiquette says don't rob a bank, but people still rob banks.
They rob banks, so it's like it is what it is. That's what I'm
It
saying. Like
is what it is.
being so exciting now, it does. It'll get a person to get that a typical person like, yo, I want to watch it now because of what I'm seeing now. This is so exciting. Like that Dela Cruz, he's freaking awesome, yo.
Yeah,
He's freaking
yeah.
awesome. He stole second, third, and home. I said, yo, in there saying about him, he clapped like 8 home runs, one he put over, and the guy robbed him. Gave him the no. That man put one out there 456 next time.
Mm-hmm.
True.
It's nice seeing the youth, the explosion in baseball, and people are recognizing that. Absolutely.
Well, guys, that's perfect because that is a great intro to our show. Let's make this epic. I brought you the Skybox. I brought you Michael C's Views on Instagram. I brought you Rise Above, and now to Epic Perspective, where we give our epic perspective in an imperfect world. It's me, Michael C., the source of life, over the mic. Let's go to our cast. Let's go to our cast right now. And then remember, hit that like and subscribe button. It's only $3.99. Well, today, I don't have Dr. Jamie Foster. I don't have Daryl. I don't have Shannon. But they will be with us in later episodes. But who I do have, IceMan, aka Mamba, my guy, Tony Moreno. What's good with you, guy?
What's up, Mike? See how's it hanging, buddy?
You already know what it is, man. You already know what it is. You already know what it is. Man, how are you doing? How are you doing? You know, summer's wrapping up. Getting back to that time where we got to go back into the school year. How are you doing?
Busy. Making the most of the summer months, but busy, man. Just, you know, uh, outlook on the school year coming up positive, and this summer's been me just creating some new things, some new looks for the classroom, whether it's bulletin boards or door decorations or getting kids motivated to learn. That's what I've been looking at, doing a lot of research on, behavioral patterns, motivation, you name it. I've been busy.
My guy, you already know. When it comes to this guy, I'm telling y'all this right now. These fifth graders better get ready because they're going to have an experience of a lifetime when it comes to this season. Like I said to y'all before, this man will sit back and he will talk about life when it comes to math. When it comes to spelling, he'll talk about life. When it comes to science, he'll put life in. When it comes to him, I'm going to tell you right now, if I, with rewind time, was a 12th grader, he's the class I would love to be in. My guy, IceMan.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
The Mamba, Tony Moreno. And with that being said, we've seen how he's doing. We'll be back right after this. We're back. We're back. You already know who it is. It's Michael C., the source of life, over the mic. Remember, hit that like and subscribe button. It's only $3.99. I got my guy, IceMan, aka Mamba, in the building, giving us his epic perspective in an imperfect world. My guy, let's talk about how you and I first really started to click. It was sports.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Had that. Everybody had that at LeBron James and Bronny James. Shout out to you guys. Get better, man. Get better. And I know you're gonna come out, you're gonna come out this on the other side. But anyway, we were talking about LeBron and Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
But then I seen something in that on behind me. Ooh, oh, he's an Eagles fan, y'all. He's an Eagles fan. So him and I really started getting into it when it came to the Eagles. I mean, right now, when we're looking at the NFL, the big story right now is this running back market right now. The payment of the running back market is bare minimum. The Eagles went out there, they got about 5 running backs, Rashad Penny, they got Trey Sermon, Kenneth Gainwell, Kenny Brooks, and DeAndre Swift, and all of them mounted together to not but a little bit over $5 million.
Mm-hmm.
My question to you is, why is this running back market so dismal now?
I think with the ever changing presence of the offensive scheming in the NFL, general managers don't see the premium to spend for a top notch running back. I mean, the Giants today, I think they offered a 1-year contract to Saquon for $11 million.
Right.
I mean, think of the hit that takes against your salary cap. Where the Eagles, to toot their horn, they've done an incredible job over the last 20 plus years of managing that cap, staying under the cap, being able to go out and target those players that they need. And there are still GMs out there with that mindset that think the run game is where it starts, when in reality it starts with the quarterback. It really, look at Mahomes, look at Hurts,
Right.
look at these quarterbacks that have revolutionized. And don't get me wrong, Jalen's still a young quarterback. He's proven himself. Just look at the fact that he turned down that Netflix quarterback series because he wants to focus on his game. But what's that say about, Mahomes? Where does the offense start? It starts with the quarterback, the offensive line play.
Right. So it really looks at it. Let me ask you this. So it's more of a pass. This is a pass heavy NFL now. So it's almost like it's giving the running back less and less opportunity because now they're giving the quarterback more opportunity. Now you got running quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, and so on. So I mean,
yeah. And I think even if there was anything we learned from the Steelers with Big Ben, you could see where there were parts like, the receivers that Pittsburgh had for years that, oh my God, they would have clipped, 1,200 yards and have 15 touchdowns. And the next thing you know, they're like, pay me. And Pittsburgh saying, goodbye, we'll fill that need with the next guy up.
right.
And the same thing with the running back. It's like, hey, pay me. And they're like, nope, we have another guy we'll go after in the draft. So, that if you look at the Steelers over the last 30 years, that's what they've been doing too. So there are a lot of teams out there that have had that mindset that are saying, hey, we don't want to pay that premium for the running back. We don't want to pay that exorbitant premium for a number one receiver.
Mm-hmm.
But you do see this is a pass heavy league and you need to have that number one. I mean, let's face it, you need to have that number one.
Question for you. The next question I want to ask you about with running backs. There's a lot of notable running backs out there, like Kareem Hunt, we'll say Tony Pollard, who hasn't signed a franchise contract, his franchise tag contract. We got Josh Jacobs, David Montgomery, Zeke. Why aren't these guys getting any jobs right now, man?
I think mileage. I really do. I think it's the mileage on them. Look at the kid in Tennessee. He, what's his name? Yeah, Henry. I mean, why isn't he getting what, he's been paid over the last, X amount of years and the numbers he's been putting up? I mean, last year was a downward trend for him, But could you imagine on Philly what he could do? I mean, wow. Talk about, a LeGarrette Blunt, 2.5 right there,
Right.
having a Henry type of running back. But again, are you looking to pay that premium for a short period of time? What's he going to do for the long haul? And I think that's what's happening. A lot of guys are evaluating, hey, the mileage on the tires, is he worth keeping? Do we shop him around and build from the interior, looking at the offensive line, the defensive line?
Mhm.
A lot of teams are realizing that if you can build that offensive line and build those D lines, you're going to be competitive for years.
Right. Right. I told you guys when it comes to the perspective of sports, especially on Philadelphia Eagles, this is the guy I go to. This is a guy I talk to. When it comes to fantasy, I'm opening up Pandora's box for you. Last year, I had 4 leagues. Welcome. This is my guru. This is the guy I used to go to. And I'm telling y'all now, don't tap into him because he's a lot. He's a lot. He's mine. Nobody else. That's my guru. IceMan, Mamba. You already know what it is. Michael C. Epic Perspective. We'll be back right after this.
Let's make this epic.
We're back. We're back. You already know who it is. It's Michael C. This was the light over the mic. I got my guy, Mamba, aka Iceman, in the building. You know what it is. Click that like and subscribe button. Remember, it's only $3.99. Mamba. Before the break, you had some nice words to say when it comes down to the things that the Eagles were doing, because you started putting my antennas up when it came to fantasy football.
Mm-hmm.
What else can you give me and my or skyboxers when it comes down to the Eagles and more?
Hey, I understand there's always been that love affair with Andy Reid, right? All Eagles fans, saw Andy take the Eagles to that that mountaintop, but he just couldn't seem to put the ring on the finger. You know what I mean? And then Dougie comes in after that abysmal Chip Kelly, and he just turns things around within 3 years' time. And then we saw that demise, that drop off, and there was a lot of questioning about Nick Sirianni. Who is Nick Sirianni? What's Sirianni about? And I got to tell you, I like Sirianni. And I like him from the perspective of, here we have the Super Bowl last year. The defense let us down, whether that's the coaching of that knucklehead that's now in Arizona. But Sirianni had someone, if not himself, go out onto the field and collect the red, yellow, and white confetti that rained down.
I've seen that.
And I thought, if that's anything to get your mindset going before the season starts, that says to me as a player, look how close we are. Look what rained down upon us. And the hell if I'm going to let that happen again. In fact, the next confetti that's raining down is green and white.
That a boy.
And I think that just goes to show that mindset, that mental mindset, that climate that Sirianni has developed in Philadelphia, that, hey, gentlemen, you want it, you got to go get it. You saw what it's about. You saw what rained down on us last February. And, I'm seeing that with the players, whether that's Milty, whether that's the physique of Jordan Davis. I mean, Jordan Davis looks like freaking Schwarzenegger. I mean, it's incredible.
Let me hold
Yeah.
on. Let me ask you this question. When we're looking at the Eagles, I mean, this is my team too. Is there any threat in the NFC right now to them?
Always. I think in the NFC East, like if I look at the Eagles and I'm being fair with the schedule that they have this year, there's no reason that they shouldn't go 12-5. Now, with that being said, those threats, look where New York was last year. They were knocking on the door. Okay. With the Giants, that's always a split. If you think about it. Last year, we took them 2 out of 2. The Cowboys, that rivalry in itself, as an Eagles fan, I
Right.
hate the Cowboys. There's no
Yeah.
there's no love there. But I'm also going to be fair to say that Jerry Jones doesn't sit back and say, hey, let's go into Philadelphia and get our, butts kicked, or let's let the Eagles come in here and kick us all over the place. But I see that being an away loss for the Eagles. I also look at the NFC and I think Purdy still has a lot to prove. San Francisco, they have a hellacious defense. They added Hargrave, one of our, players.
Yeah.
So I think San Francisco will be there.
Who else
I
you got?
think Green Bay. I really think Jordan.
Why?
Who is it? Jordan Love.
Talk to me. Why Green Bay?
They are always hanging out, if you know what I mean. They're that guy you bring along, hey, we need you, let's go. And I think if they can somehow pull it together with that Jordan Love as their quarterback, I think that's his name.
Okay.
I mean, I watched what he did last year. The kid's got a gun. He can throw down the
He
field.
does. I want to throw this team out to you. What do you think? What do you think about the Saints?
I think they're for real too. I wouldn't sleep on the Saints ever.
Okay.
Ever. I think they've always played tough football. I think the Eagles always have difficulty playing, whether it's at their place or they come into our place. I mean, that game in itself is always a scary game when you see New Orleans.
There you go. So what team do you think is going to be up and coming?
I like the Jets. I really do. I mean, granted, you have old man Rodgers as quarterback, but I think Aaron with the protection, I think he'll be able to lead that offense. I think that defense is scary. I think what Sean Payton's going to do in Denver, he's going to turn some things around. Minnesota, I think
we can't call them up and coming because they're there. They just haven't got over the hump. Which that would be us.
I think they're down and coming. I
think
really
they're in
do.
a downward spiral. Okay.
I do. I think Chicago is an up and coming team. It's going to be interesting to see the North.
I don't see no. I don't because Justin Fields still has nobody to throw to.
But I think with time though, and I think this year, look what Jalen had in his first year. He didn't have much, but he was able to produce some things.
No, they go 4-13.
You think so? 4-13.
They go 4-13. Chicago fans, you heard it. You all go 4-13.
And the regulars. I think the Chiefs are going to be there again too with Mahomes. Right. You can't ever bet against them.
Oh, the AFC's stacked. I think it's going to be the Chiefs, Dolphins, Bills.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. We saw something with Josh last year where he just fell apart. Miami,
I'm the running back's out right now. Hines is out for the season.
But I think Miami is.
He got in a jet ski accident. Busted his knee up.
Really?
Wow. Busted his knee up.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, for the Eagles, the first game of the year, Stadium or whatever they call that, the Razor, that Pats game is going to set the tone for the year for the Eagles.
You think?
Oh, yeah. Tom Brady being honored, retired. I mean, the Eagles to go into that kind of a hostile environment with, King Tom there, I think that's going to set the tone. I mean, if the Eagles go in there and whoop up on New England, that's going to be fantastic. I think that's the right motivation.
35-14. That's Evan Perspective Sports prediction right there. 35-14, we beat them.
Yeah.
I'll go with
Now, if there's anything that I think that's going to hurt the Eagles, it's the coordinators. I mean, you have two new guys. You have Sean Desai, you have Brian Johnson. I mean, from what the write-ups say about Desai, he's, you know, Seattle, he's got that background, learning from there. Chicago, he did some good things there. They just didn't retain him. I like where Sean comes from.
Mhm.
I like his background. He's a smart guy. I think if he uses the weapons that we have on defense, there's no doubt we have a great defensive year.
We do.
Yeah, offensively, I know Brian Johnson has worked hand in hand with Jalen over the years. I think that's a good relationship there. But at the same time, are he and Nick on the same page? Which that's always the hope. The head coach and the offensive coordinator
Yep.
are working hand in hand and agree with things. But
He just
here's
feels
the
that
thing.
we got to beat
Go ahead.
ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is, too, you look at the Super Bowl with Aaron Sipos and that stupid punt towards the end of the game. I question Michael Clay, the special teams coach. I mean, you've got to get those players ready to go.
Right.
And from what I understand, the Eagles brought in a punter that's pretty competitive. And I hope that says to Sipos, look, you need to get your act together, or we're going with this young kid. And obviously, I think, the health of the Eagles is the running backs.
There it is.
Is Penny going to deliver? Swift going to deliver?
Right.
Is Gainwell going to be able to, go up the middle? How much are we going to lean on Boston Scott? Because, Kenny and Boston, they're smaller guys. You can't just pound the football with those guys. You need that big bruising back if you want to be competitive in the East.
So with all that being said, what is your Super Bowl prediction?
I think it's Philly versus KC rematch. And I'll tell you what, here's the motivation for that. I look at the Eagles' record, 12-5. I think losses are going to come against, the Giants away, against the Cowboys away. I think we're going to lose to the Jets away. I think we're going to go into Kansas City and we're going to lose on a heartbreaking field goal.
And who's the last loss?
And last loss, I think, is going to possibly be, Kansas City. I think that'll be the last one. And then I think the Eagles run the table from there.
So then we lose the last one. You said 12-5 earlier. So you said those four. The last one, I would even throw, it might be a Redskins win.
Oh, Seattle. I'm sorry. I think Seattle's the last one. I think that's the last loss. My bad. My bad.
So you say we're going to beat the Redskins twice, beat the Giants twice, we'll beat the Cowboys twice.
Oh no, we're gonna split with the Cowboys and the Giants. There's two. We're gonna lose to the Jets and the Chiefs. That's 4. And I think going into Seattle, that's always been tough for Philly.
So
I think we're gonna lose at Seattle.
Okay, so those are the 5. All right.
Yep.
I like 12-5. I really do. I can go with 12-5. 12-5 is respectful. We win the NFC East. I go with that.
With that schedule, I mean, come on. You have Buffalo, you have Miami. That's a lot to gear up for. And I think their losses are going to be close losses too. I think there are a lot of things that teams have seen that we can do, and they're going to scheme for that. They're going to prepare for that. That's what a good coach does. They look at,
I agree. Schemes and finds a good way to figure it out. And with that being said, we're going to figure it out. We're going to figure out how we're going to scheme and find a way. When it comes down to it, I told you, the Mamba got the insight. The Mamba got the perspective. You already know. I want y'all to marinate on that right after this.
Go on YouTube and hit that like and subscribe button. It's only $3.99.
$3.99? Are you only on YouTube?
Nope.
Spotify?
Yep.
Google Podcast?
Absolutely.
Anchor?
Yep.
So you're on many platforms.
Correct.
So how do we find you?
All you have to do is search the Skybox.
We're back. You already know what it is. It's Michael C, the source of life. over the mic. I'm with my guy, IceMan, aka Mamba, in the building. You already know what it is, guys. You already know what it is, guys. Got any shout outs?
I do. My biggest shout out is to the James family. I mean, that's horrible to hear. I have the utmost respect for LeBron James, even though I'm a Michael fan. To hear that your son collapses at practice at USC, cardiac arrest, the possibility of an enlarged heart, instability of the heart's electrical system, that's just horrible. I mean, this young man, he has a bright future. Let's not say he has a bright future, and I don't want to see that light go out. I want to see that light, burn bright. So prayers, my thoughts, positive thoughts, and love to the James family.
Right. Definitely prayers to the James family, prayers to the NBA family also that's going on around there. Any more shout outs, Mamba?
Hey, you Philly fans out there, you're knocking on the door. You have a chance at the playoffs this year. And what wouldn't be a greater thing for the city of Philadelphia but to see the Phillies and the Eagles battling for a world championship this year? That would be a lot of fun.
Let's go get them. You already know. All right, you know who it is, Noel. You know who it is, Nico. Noel, happy birthday. Happy birthday, my love. You already know what we're about to do in a couple days. You already know what it is. Nico, you already know what it is, guys. Shout out, you already know what it is. But I want to thank you. I want to thank you for tuning in to Epic Perspective, where we gave our epic perspective in an imperfect world. And if you have any questions or concerns, email me at the number one skybox at gmail.com. It's me, Michael C., the source of light over the mic. I got the IceMan, aka Mamba. Miss Shannon will be back later. Dr. Gaming will be back later. Daryl T will be back later. You already know what we do. Now let's make this happen.
Let's make this epic.